I walk alone along a deserted road cutting through dense forest, surrounded by tall trees and wet asphalt that reflects the pale daylight filtering through the leaves. The place feels abandoned, silent, ordinary, like any forgotten stretch of road far from the city. My steps are slow, steady, and my attention drifts between the cracked pavement and the tree line on both sides. Everything seems calm, predictable, untouched. Then something breaks the stillness ahead of me. I notice movement near the edge of the road, where the forest opens slightly. An adult deer stands partially on the asphalt, partially in the dirt, frozen in an awkward posture. As I get closer, I clearly see a heavy, worn car tire tightly trapped around the adult deer's neck, pressing deep into the fur and forcing the head downward at an unnatural angle. The adult deer's body trembles, its legs spread wide to keep balance, its chest rising fast with visible strain. The adult deer tries to step forward, but the weight of the car tire pulls the neck sideways, making each movement unstable and painful. The rubber is old, cracked, and rigid, clearly not flexible enough to slide free. The animal turns its head toward me, eyes wide and alert, breathing sharp, clearly aware of my presence but unable to flee. I stop completely on the road, feeling the seriousness of the moment settle in my chest. The adult deer does not run. The adult deer does not attack. The adult deer simply stands there, trapped, exhausted, lifting its head as much as the car tire allows, silently insisting through its posture and stillness. The forest remains quiet around us, the deserted road empty, and the adult deer with a car tire stuck around its neck holds my attention without making a sound. I understand immediately that walking away is not an option anymore. I stay where I am, watching the adult deer with the car tire stuck around its neck, realizing how exposed this road truly is. The forest may look calm, but the asphalt beneath my feet is a place where vehicles can appear without warning. The deer remains too close to the road, trapped between instinct and inability to move freely. The adult deer suddenly attempts to step back toward the forest. The heavy car tire catches against the ground and low brush, twisting sharply around the neck. The movement makes the animal stumble, legs shaking, balance nearly lost. I see how easily a fall could break its neck or pin the tire even tighter. I look down the road in both directions and understand the risk clearly. A single passing vehicle would turn this silent moment into disaster. The deer cannot run. The deer cannot dodge. The deer can only react too slowly. The adult deer begins, breathing faster, chest heaving, panic building as its attempts to move fail again and again. Each effort wastes precious energy. The car tire continues to grind against fur and skin, turning exhaustion into injury. I take a careful step forward, then stop. I know approaching too quickly could trigger a dangerous reaction. The deer is wild, stressed, and cornered by its own restraint. One wrong move from me could send it crashing onto the asphalt. Time starts to feel heavier. I realize this situation cannot wait for chance or hope. The longer the car tire stays around the deer's neck, the worse the outcome becomes. Doing nothing is no longer neutral. Doing nothing is a choice with consequences. I step back slowly and pull my phone from my pocket, keeping my eyes on the adult deer with the car tire stuck around its neck. I know I cannot handle this alone without making things worse. Professional help is the only safe option. I call Wildlife Rescue Services and carefully describe the situation. An adult deer, a heavy car tire tightly trapped around its neck, and a deserted forest road far from the city. Time feels unstable as I wait for instructions. Following the guidance I receive, I place myself in a visible position on the road to warn any approaching vehicles. I stand far, enough from the deer to avoid stress, yet close enough to keep it from moving back onto the asphalt. After what feels like a long stretch of silence, a rescue vehicle finally appears in the distance. The adult deer reacts immediately, body tensing, breath quickening, fear returning. Two trained wildlife rescuers step out carefully, wearing protective gloves and carrying cutting tools. Their movements are slow and deliberate, designed to avoid panic. Working together, We guide the adult deer gently away from the center of the road. One rescuer stabilizes the animal's body, while the other positions the tool near the tire. With controlled pressure and precise movement, the car tire is cut open. The rubber begins to separate, releasing tension from the deer's neck. The moment the tire begins to separate, the adult deer explodes into movement. The sudden release changes its balance, and the animal thrashes violently, hooves striking the asphalt, muscles surging in pure panic. I freeze, knowing that one wrong reaction could undo everything. The heavy car tire snaps halfway open but does not fall. Instead, it twists, biting into the deer's neck at a new angle. The adult deer stumbles, legs sliding, chest heaving, eyes wide with terror. The danger intensifies instantly. One rescuer shouts a sharp hand signal, and we all reposition without words. I step back exactly as instructed, keeping my body low and still. The road feels too narrow, the forest too close, the margin for error almost non-existent. The adult deer collapses briefly onto its knees, exhaustion overwhelming fear. Its breathing is harsh and uneven, saliva foaming at the mouth. The tire hangs crookedly, still trapped, still dangerous. This is the moment where animals are lost. I force myself to stay focused. Panic will kill this animal faster than the tire. The rescuer closest to the neck stabilizes the adult deer's head with controlled pressure, avoiding the airway, avoiding the key spine. The second rescuer raises the cutting tool again, hand steady despite the chaos. I can see how close the blade is to skin, how thin the line is between rescue and tragedy. The forest is silent, as if waiting. The cut resumes. Rubber resists, stretches, then finally gives way. The tension snaps free. The tire splits completely and falls flat onto the road. For a fraction of a second, nothing moves. Then the adult deer lifts its head. The adult deer stays still for a moment, head raised, neck finally free. I watch closely as its breathing begins to slow, each breath deeper and more controlled than the last. The panic drains from its posture, replaced by cautious awareness. The wildlife rescuers ease their grip and step back, carefully giving the adult deer space. No one rushes. No one celebrates yet. This is the most fragile moment after survival, when calm matters more than speed. The adult deer shifts its weight and places one hoof forward, then another. It rises fully, standing on all four legs, taller now without the burden around its neck. The skin beneath the fur is marked and raw, but the animal is upright, alive, balanced. I remain exactly where I am, body low, unmoving, respecting the boundary between human and wild. The forest feels different now. The tension that once filled the road begins to dissolve into quiet relief. The adult deer looks toward the trees, ears alert, body aligned with instinct. For a brief second, its gaze meets my direction. There is no fear in its eyes anymore, only distance, only nature reclaiming itself. Without hesitation, the adult deer steps off the asphalt and disappears into the forest. Branches shift, leaves rustle, and then the animal is gone, swallowed by green and shadow. The broken car tire remains on the road, flat and harmless, a reminder of how close this came to ending differently. The rescuers collect their tools and retreat, their job complete. I stand alone again on the quiet forest road, aware that nothing about this place looks changed, yet everything feels different. I arrived as a witness. I leave knowing that one life continues because we acted in time. The road is empty, the forest breathes, and somewhere beyond the trees, the adult deer runs free.